welcome to the 6th episode of the Record Around podcast. This is a series in which we take representatives from different record arounds across the subreddit and discuss topical matters in the world of RRs. For this episode, we have all the regulars. He hates the cynical season 5 intro more than he hates Adolf Hitler. It's Lego Beast.
That's not even true, actually.
Well,
we have Maximum 50.
hi.
And we have Casmic.
Howdy.
And we have Ambition. So,
My least
yay.
favorite round.
Yay.
Christ, fuck
Lego
this
spent
round.
about 10 years trying to get into this.
10 years?
We've got Keoki.
Roughly 10
Hello.
years.
We've got Mischievous.
Greetings.
And we have Epic Sackville.
Hello.
Right. Anyone have any opening remarks? Preferably not about the Cynical Season 5 intro.
I am none.
Cynical Season 4 intro I didn't really like that much.
Alright,
What's
now
the
you're
Cynical
just...
Season 4 intro?
I don't know.
I forget.
Cynical 4 was the
Oh,
Vengeful Spirits.
What's cynical?
oh, that was
It
Fluke's
was the
intro.
Fluze's like first
I was
big
actually
project.
talking about the South Indian TV show called Cynical. The
Oh,
season
my
4
bad.
intro
Oh, right,
changed
my
from
bad.
season 3.
That's pretty
I should have
interesting.
made that
Wow.
correlation.
I've actually been watching a lot of Korean dramas lately, but I had to go back to a classic Cynical, my favorite South Indian drama with its shitty season 4 intro, just to point that out.
Yeah, I've
But
been
that's
watching
about
a lot
all
of
for me.
Koreans lately.
You not get cable in Canada or some shit? Like, what the hell are you on?
I'm on a lot of
It has
drugs
Epic
right now.
too. Epic's from Canada.
Yeah,
He's from the bad part of Canada, though.
Oh, where do you live in Canada?
I live in the
Like,
crime capital of Canada.
oh. You got 3 Canadians here then. Wow, what a joy.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Max from Canada, but he's from
Women's Murder
Toronto.
Club.
Hell yeah,
Ron-
women's
That's
murder
a
club.
good
scene.
Toronto,
Jesus
Ontario.
Christ.
Yeah, you guys haven't
WMC,
seen
Women's
that?
Murder Club.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Okay, yeah, let's leave that one out. Thanks. Okay,
welcome
so
to the
do you want to
club.
start off with the first topic then?
Yeah.
What is it?
Alright, we're talking about determination UHC.
I got you, Aaron.
season
I'm not
2.
gonna say anything to avoid getting confronted by the big SX himself.
Okay, well,
So I'm gonna
Dex.
keep my opinions to myself.
Determination Season 2, for anybody unaware, is a recorded round that recently finished airing on the subreddit. They've had 2 seasons, and they had a large gap in between seasons 1 and 2, and their return was slightly controversial because season 1 was originally advertised to the group as a one-time round. And then now, I think about, 7, maybe 8 months later, they returned to season 2.
That's Tommy's specialty. One-time rounds.
Okay.
Aren't one-time rounds.
Quick question: how big was the gap? Was it as big as a desirable?
Actually,
woman's
let me
thigh
check
gap
out
or
right now.
bigger?
Oh, Scott.
What would
I'm
you
not
say
allowed
is a
to answer that
desirable
question.
woman's thigh gap? Like, how many inches?
How many,
Oh, I was talking
how many
feet.
months?
How many feet?
Like I'm talking like as tall as a woman. That's how far apart her legs should be.
Yeah, but yeah,
You'd have
they
to be
come in
pretty
they come in
thick,
different
Scott.
heights, Scott. It's not like
I like them thick with 2 C's.
Okay.
I'm more of a
Um,
man
serious,
myself.
Gap
I don't know if
was...
gaps in one. Like, I don't know if one-time recording.
Okay,
rounds not
the
being
gap was
one-time
10
recording
monts between
Really?
season 1 and
Didn't
2.
feel like that long.
Oh, that's
Episode
a,
1 episode 1 for season 1 post was 10 months ago.
that's a pretty juicy gap. I like
We
it.
have to take into consideration All Stars was supposed to be a one-time recorded round.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
No,
Yeah,
I
the thing with
don't, I'm not
All
criticizing it for
Stars
that.
is
It
that
was.
became quite
I don't
a
think it was
cool
actually-
annual thing, whereas
It
just
definitely
turning it
was,
into
Scott.
like an actual recurring round. I did not
Well, I don't
like.
know. I didn't play season 1 of those.
I
Well,
did
yeah,
not like
so-
the idea of that.
Well, to go with the All Stars idea, technically All Stars was a one-time recorded round because it was organized by Wingnut and Zero, and then
Mhm.
when it came around to it, like probably like 9 or 10 months later, I was talking to a couple people and we decided that we did want to do another one, but Zero and Wingnut really didn't have any interest in doing it because at that time, like, Draft Crafters had died,
Yeah.
so like,
Yeah, and then the big cock took over.
yeah. So then it basically was me, Frost. It was me, Frost, Sugar, and Scott, and that was like the official like recording.
Yeah, I did a lot at the beginning before you were a part of it.
Yeah, and then All Stars 3. Basically, it became kind of like a thing. Like, yeah, we're gonna do
Annual
another one.
thing.
I think
So, me and Frost said, okay, we want to let
I thought we were
Fairy
talking about
take
determination.
Well,
well, yeah, no,
I guess
this
it kinda
is
moved on
kinda
to-
relevant,
you,
because
you
it's
guys,
quite
and by you guys I
hard.
mean Ambition, have played all 3 All-Star seasons, so this could actually be an interesting topic just to kind of touch on quickly.
it's quite
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose it is relevant because it's quite hard to like have a go around to doing a second season when All Stars is probably the biggest example of that. But I think was All Stars the first ever round to be advertised as just a one-time
I'm pretty
thing?
sure
Maybe.
there was
Because obviously I
something
know there
before
would've been
that. I
rounds
can't
that
remember.
had just a season and then
yes.
just
I can look at
failed
the-
for
It's
season
what's
two.
that round where they can't separate because they
Inseparable.
have
Inseparable.
that one.
Coming soon.
You knew the name of the round, Scott. Don't even try.
Yeah, I did.
The name where
Yeah,
they
but
can't
that wasn't even a
separate,
one-time,
inseparable.
because they did Incep too.
I'll look
Exactly,
at the
that's what we were
recorder
talking
rounds,
about. One that
And
went from
Bobby
one
is
time to two.
convinced. Shout out to Bobby.
I
He wanted a
personally
shout
don't
No,
out.
think-
no.
Reverse
I'll give
shout
him
out to
one.
Bobby.
He
Don't bring
thinks
him
there's
up.
inseparable
La,
season
la, la,
3.
you can't say Bobby. You can't say
Because-
Bobby here.
Well, Bobby was like, he was on
You
Badlion,
said it anyway.
and he was like, I saw Mr. Team Raven on Badlion. That means Inseparable 3 is happening.
Was it-
There was like,
was-
there's no reason. He just made that connection. He decided that was the reason.
Wasn't
So, shout out there.
Classic Kingdoms one season?
That was way old.
That's an
The
interesting
first
story.
one failed though.
I was like 2 years.
Isn't
I
Clash of
remember.
Kingdoms that app where you build like cities?
Yeah,
Clash
that's the
of
thing.
Hundreds of those things.
Oh.
They're
Close
like,
enough, though.
I think.
This is
'cause-
not an RR topic. Now we're just talking about maps.
No,
Remember-
Lego.
Scott, do you remember UHC, UH, and then SEA?
That was my favorite recording.
Oh,
remember
no.
I hosted it.
Wait,
That
wait,
was a one-time recorded round.
Mr. Viz,
The
do you
craft
remember
was good.
UHC?
Yeah, that was
UH,
better.
yeah.
Remember Opulent?
Dita, that was
Remember
Dita.
Opulent? Remember Opulent?
That was Dita
a
and Short
Canadian
Gamers
recorded
Canadian recorded round that myself and Mischievous played.
Uh-huh.
This was late 2015
Yeah,
and
they
it
were
failed
telling me about it,
because
and I was telling them they needed to call it Maple.
Ooh.
Maple? Just
Yeah,
Maple
because like the
UHC?
maple leaf.
it
And
got
then
scrapped
See,
because
I
memory
understand.
UHC just sounds stupid.
This is why you organize. This is why you only organize one round, Kyoki.
I organized All Star Season 2.
Well,
This is true.
according to Scott, you just hopped in.
Alright, so I think the thing is like
I'm not gonna.
most of the rounds Jesus Christ. Most of the rounds are like one time
Epic, you really
rounds.
give
Though.
me-
Shut the fuck up.
That's
Jesus
lasted out after
Christ.
6 episodes.
This is not a
It
good
took me
idea.
this long. Alright, so I think most of the like most of the one-time RRs that have like gone on to have multiple seasons like had enough popularity to justify doing it down the line. I didn't agree with the Stantia actually just becoming a reoccurring round. Like they kind of did it, and then it came to be about like combining people from all over the world, but it was like 75% NA people. And they just
Yeah.
So basically, the Stantia season 4.
There was a Season 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
It
just
was
an
season
FFA
three.
with,
That was my
I remember
favorite
season
and it was 75%
There was a season 1?
NA people.
it was Cosmic's favorite recorded round to ever play.
Yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly.
But
I would love to enjoy you
I
thoroughly
I
after this
personally
podcast.
don't think Determination received the support for season 1 to justify saying, right, we're scrapping the one-time thing and we're making
No,
this
okay.
into a
Well,
No,
project."
here's the thing.
personally-
According to multiple sources, sorry, you should go, Cosmic.
Personally, I mean, I might just be completely out of the loop, but I didn't notice a whole lot of backlash for its season 2's existence. I more noticed the backlash that came later.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it
from
was
my
just about the
point of
finale.
view, I think it's fine if people want to organize, like turning a one-time record around into a multiple season. That's fine. I just think the issue with it is advertising one-time record rounds and then turning them into multiple.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like if you're just straight up about it and you're like, okay, this is a one-time record around, it gets a lot of hype, and then all of a sudden, nope, we're doing a season 2 like 2 months later, then that's kind of shitty. But like 10 months to a year is like a long time.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
like the thing about Determination is they did put an interesting spin on it with the hard game mode. It's not like they were just doing like, okay, this is season 2 and it's a vanilla. Like that that would just be
It's something
stupid,
special that you can't see anywhere
Yeah,
else.
I mean,
Right.
season 1
Except
proved me
Phobia.
wrong to begin with. When I first
Got 'em.
when I first saw that like season 1 was existed, I think I put something on the post that got a hell of a lot of support in the end. Was the fact that it was kind of just contradictory. Like the fact that they had a round where they had stupidly difficult game modes and then gave everyone 50 hearts. It seemed like it was
Counterintuitive.
completely pointless. Like I think this was the example I gave on the subreddit. Was like the number 5 equals the number 5. The number 5 plus 20 minus 20 also equals the number
Still equals 5.
You're
Yeah,
just
exactly.
adding.
Hey,
It's
sorry,
the
I'm
same
not a math
thing.
major.
You're
What's
just
going on here?
I'm a math major. I'm following thoroughly. Keep going.
like you're just taking something that is cool because it's a very hardcore record around and then just completely nullifying it. In the end, I agree that the extra health was completely necessary, but at the time, the actual idea just didn't seem to work because it was just taking something that existed.
It's as if zombies, like, if they hit you, they do 2 hearts and a Gapple heals 2 hearts. It's fine. If a zombie hits you for 8 hearts and Gapples heal 8 hearts, it's literally the same thing. It's just counterintuitive.
It's not literally the same
usually
thing.
Zombies take you
Two
down in
versus
2
eight.
hits, but if you have a ray gun, you have like Juggernaut and stuff. Usually,
The Thunder Gun
Shut
actually takes
up,
everything
get
down
out.
in 1 hit, and if you just
Thunder
train him
Gun.
around, and you can save up a lot of points. It basically does the same thing after around like 20.
Welcome to the Nazi Zombies
as long as you
podcast.
just train him around.
If I recall correctly,
Wait.
when
Actually, we could turn this into the Nazi Zombies podcast.
Actually,
we
they
do have a
preferred to
member
call
here who was in
Confederate
World War
soldiers who
II.
took their lives from the war.
I'm gonna kill you. This was an awful idea.
if I recall correctly,
Minecraft
when
creator himself.
Oh yeah! Fun
Yeah,
fact:
they're-
Mischievous made, was it in 2013?
What did I
He made
make?
a recreation of Kino der Toten
In Minecraft.
in Minecraft. And how many downloads did your map get? Like
I can check.
hundreds. Not
At
hundreds.
least checking. Let's
a
continue
lot,
on with
a
the
lot.
topic at hand.
Yeah.
The
Back
topic
when we were-
currently is zombies. People started talking about
No,
zombies.
we're talking about determination.
We're
I
still
had like
talking
one
about
last thing
that?
I want to say about determination, which is when it was originally like put on the subreddit, because I remember this being a thing. I could be wrong on this, but if I recall correctly, when season 1 was first posted, Tommy said that when it was played, it was supposed to be a one-time thing in the group after it was recorded, but then uploaded decided it was going to be like have multiple seasons. But it was always
in the
intended to
intro,
have.
like, in the talking intro, like Tommy even mentions it's one time round, but like after the season was over, Tommy was like, "Yeah, no, this was I enjoyed this way too much
Right.
to just leave it as one season."
But he also did say that don't expect it to happen too often. Like we're going to have a long recording gaps because he didn't want it. I think he said he would lose its charm if they uploaded it at the same pace of the normal recorded round every 2 or 3 months. It would become tiring at one
I
point.
agree with that. I
Lost
think
its
that's
charm
fine.
after season 1 was uploaded.
Oh god damn, Lego, you're a
Opinion,
fucking
opinion,
savage.
opinion.
I'm allowed to
Um,
voice my opinion. Yeah, but what, they're gonna watch it and like crucify me? They can't do it.
I have a question. So how do you feel? What do you
Me?
think is more? No, not you.
Oh. I was
How,
looking
how
at
do you
you.
feel about like? Because determination, it's not a really original roster, but it's a good roster. It has a lot of people that people would consider good commentators or people who would consider
I mean,
watching.
I don't know.
Like,
Did you
when
see
it was
Sarah's
actually-
team? Sarah's a good
sorry.
commentator. Dom's a good commentator. There's some other fucking weeb.
Yeah, I apologize.
I'm pretty sure, like, the actual idea of the, like, because obviously the concept was, like, the really hard game modes, but I'm pretty sure a lot of it was they wanted to get the best commentators together for the round.
Yeah, but how many
So-
rounds have done that? Said, oh, we're getting good commentators, so it's
But
unique.
it's just an
Yeah, I
unoriginal
know, but
roster.
obviously it wasn't just the FFA vanilla with good commentators, it did have another concept as well. So I think, well,
Aaron,
okay,
you
alright,
can't
by
survive
my
regular
logic,
PvE.
it
Why
was
are you
just
saying
FFA
that?
vanilla.
Alright,
Oh my
KOK.
fucking
And
God.
in season 16, that ring a bell. I survived PvE that time.
Jesus fuck, like
Yeah, but you were on like
salty.
1 heart when you got killed by the
And then I
Green
got a
GL. So
pop-up. That's not... First of all, who's Green GL?
I
mean,
won season
Mickle.
16, sir.
I only know Mike Hale.
I'm only
Whose
referring
tail
to
is
him
it?
by his in-game username that he used for Ambition Ultra Hardcore Season 16. My bad.
Michael.
Me?
Okay,
Can we,
well-
like, do that as a topic, like his IGN.
No. Let's
How about you get him on the podcast and then you do it?
Was the
Get,
Yeah.
get Desire on here.
Right, you'll have to wait a couple of episodes for that.
But Desire died.
Stay tuned.
No.
Shut
No,
up.
not really.
Oh.
It did, then it undied.
What do you guys
Oh,
think?
yeah.
Died,
about
like-
moving on to
I
the
swear it
next
happened
topic?
for one
yeah,
season, and then it came back like 2 years later.
Not 2 years. It was more like a year, I think.
It was a cool return, though.
I
It
see
was
the
it,
religious
the
side
season
of it, I
1
like
was
it.
sometime in 2014, and season 2 was in 2015.
Throwback to Catman Chaos.
He was my
Oh,
best
yeah.
friend. And
He
he
was.
left me.
Mr. Cut Clean himself.
Scott
Actually,
literally
that-
was best friends with.
Actually, Cut Clean was my idea.
Oh,
I told
You
him
heard
the
it here
idea
first,
and then
folks.
He scripted it, so
Wow, so you're to blame.
So you're the real creator,
Yeah.
Scott.
real creator.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Catman
Well,
Chaos
it's good
played
to
season
know.
2 of Ambition.
Please send
Unfair.
hate emails for Cut Clean to
What's your business email?
mischievous.epic@gmail.com.
yeah.
Oh, I'm just getting
do we have anything
Discord
else to say on-
notifications, I can't
Determination.
close it.
Do we think
Do you have
there
anything
should
else
be
to
a
say on Determination?
Season 3?
No.
I don't know.
Uh,
I'm trying
no.
to think if I have anything else to say. I probably do.
I think if
had
determination
something,
can
but I
like
got
put kind of a different, like for instance, for season 2 they did something different than they did for season 1. While they still use the same idea of like really weird PvE, they added dragon rush with like the 4 dragons or whatever and like the gas in the end. So I think if they did something like that, like they took that same idea but kind of meddled with it a little, they could, I think a third season could be
Yeah, they
good.
can do what
but
they want. It's their
Yeah,
round.
here's what I
Yeah.
was going to say was the fact that because they took a roster which, let's be real, was unoriginal. Like the season 1 roster wasn't original. Everyone in there was pretty much in lots of other RRs or had played lots of other RRs at some point. So the roster as a whole, like roster originality does not matter for one-time RRs because people are in there for a specific reason, and if those players happen to have played lots of other RRs, it doesn't matter because you're there for the concept, not for the roster. That's
Yeah.
fair enough. So I thought, like, the roster for Determination Season 1, you know, they could have maybe given a couple of other people a chance to play, some maybe, you know, lesser known commentators if that's what they were going for, but overall,
they want
I
good
don't think it made too
commentators.
much of a difference.
Can I give a counter example right now?
Oh,
Gee.
God.
No, Welcome to Hell, a
Oh,
one-time
yeah.
record around, which Kazmic and I both played. I killed him, got him.
Yeah. I poisoned you. No, I didn't. Alex did.
But that technically also organized by Tommy SX,
Jesus
and
Christ.
also the game mode was just hard PVE. It was Nightmare, or was it exactly Nightmare
So
mode?
it was just welcome to determination, but not determination and
Yeah, but the thing is, the difference, it was a really original roster.
It was.
really
It was a
original.
neat
Yeah,
fit
like
for people.
Scribbler? Who
You had
the
people
fuck
like
is that?
Thin and Balone who got the play.
Dolls,
Yeah.
That was Kirby's first Reddit round, I think.
Right.
Also, yeah, also
Like that was a round I honestly
I
was
played
really.
with Swedish.
I was invited to that but couldn't play, and after it was recorded, I heard nothing else after that. And then when it got released, I was like, oh my god, they got a really cool roster together. And
Yeah.
pretty much once I saw the intro, that was all I needed to watch it, and I did watch
The
it. I did
intro
enjoy
was
it.
really good. Phenom did a really good job with the
Phenom
renders,
and
and then KTR did the
No, he was
intro
harassed.
itself.
Yeah.
The intro was good. I had a blast playing the game.
Who'd you team with?
Mhm.
I was with Swedish Mindman.
And you had a blast, you said?
I did. You fuck off,
Interesting,
Lego.
interesting. I'm taking notes.
And then, and it was really fun. But the difference between that and Determination, even though it wasn't, was it? Or I guess they were both technically one-time recorded rounds to begin with. There's no talk for a new Welcome to Hell. Like Welcome to Hell was literally, as Tommy and Ferry organized it, was organized in 24 hours. Like I was
Yeah.
in TeamSpeak, and I got a message from Tommy. He's like, "Hey, you want to play this record round?" I'm like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah. Why not?
And that's how it happened.
Anyway,
But I almost think that Welcome to Hell got more, like, better reception than Determination.
Then Determination
Makes
2
sense.
most certainly it did. Yeah.
what I was
Interesting.
saying,
Something
like,
to think about.
was
Yeah.
yeah, I
But I'm
liked
not
the
gonna think about.
the unoriginal roster didn't matter for what was intended as a one-time RR. So from that point of view, I wasn't at all bothered by that. What I didn't then think was for season 2, that same roster couldn't have been said the same. It was then just an unoriginal roster. And like I know they had a couple of, you know, nice faces to see, and they're like C Money and Thin.
Thin.
They did actually add some pretty cool people, nice
BBR too.
commentators.
That was his first
BBR
round.
was a nice one. Like, so they did a better job with giving some original roster for a round that was no longer a one-time RR, and I did respect that. But I still didn't think the roster was all too original, and I.
You know, wait, it does make me wonder. Season 1, if they agreed during Season 1 that wasn't going to be a one-time round, would the roster have been built any differently? Like, would there have been different people added, or
Yes.
would certain people
I
have
think
not been
so.
invited
Yes.
had it not have been a one-time
Burning
round?
T would not have played, and I know that
Yeah.
because he only joined because he was supposed to play EuroLeague but couldn't make it, and the only reason he was in that was because he was only playing one-time RRs. He wouldn't join. He wouldn't even play the first season of any RR.
That's another
when
good
I
example.
messaged Burning about it, he said he wouldn't have played if it wasn't a one-time RR, and Determination was the same. I take it he left after it was announced that it was not a one-time
Yeah,
thing. So,
think
and
so,
I think
yeah.
that probably would have gone for quite a few people, to be honest. Because with
Now-
an unoriginal roster like that, some people might have been put off. But I wouldn't be put off joining an unoriginal roster if it was for a one-time concept.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I asked if people would be interested in a EuroLeague Season 2, and as much as, you know, Joey at the time said it was his favourite season of an RR he'd played, but he still had no interest in a season 2 because I'd advertised it as a one-time RR, and the same pretty much went for everyone who I asked.
Now,
About
this has
it.
kind of shifted a little bit off of determination, but I think it's an interesting topic. Like, do you guys like one-time RRs in general?
Yes.
Because I actually am a big fan of them.
I only
love
like
them.
them
Yeah.
if they don't
Because
become
they're
a
always
season 2.
special
Once they become
for
a
a
season
reason.
2, I've lost all interest.
I agree with that, Ben. I think one-time recorded rounds I like them a lot. It immediately attracts me more to watch them because usually when
It's
there's a one-time
special.
round, they have a lot more of a gauge to be different and special, whereas a normal season 1+ round would. So if you're going into the mindset of creating a one-time recorded round, you usually have a really good, unique idea of what you want it to be, and that almost always happens. Like good examples of one-time rounds that say one-time rounds are
Battle
EuroLeague. What's the one I was thinking
really
of?
fucking fun.
Battle Royale. Outhosted is another good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and
I
those
think
are all really
Leon
entertaining because they work well.
wanted to do an out-hosted season 2, but Sam literally said no one's ever doing it. I said
The
it was
way
a
that-
one-time RR and I'm keeping it as that, and I'm like,
I think people really enjoy
Fair
Battle
play.
Royale too. Like the because like obviously I'm biased because I played in it, but it was really fucking
Yeah.
fun just to play.
I think
And,
the
like,
only criticism I had
remember
for
immediately
sorry.
after.
Jeez.
yeah, my only criticism was, the ambition team.
Yeah.
No, that's not even my criticism.
That was
What?
the best
I-
part.
It was
What?
fun because
The-
we were just fucking around and we weren't taking it like
Yeah,
we knew if we wanted to go caving and cave for like years and we'd win the game.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Bobby,
Bobby-
Kinda like it was just to have fucking fun with each
Yeah,
other.
and then Bobby fed
Bobby
Bobby
was
betrayed
brilliant.
Archery and it was just fun. It was just fun to play. Like that was what it came down
Yeah.
to.
But there's lots of instances like that. Also, I think people go into one-time RRs with a more positive mindset. Like, if you'd looked at the roster for Battle Royale, and it had just been a regular recorded round that was going to be recurring,
Yeah,
I would have
no.
been quite negative about it, because it
Yeah, I
probably
agree.
would have got free publicity, because it was a recorded round
Bobby the
filled
Turtle.
with well-known players. But
And Bobby
there
the
would
Turtle.
probably be a lot of people thinking, hold on there a second, mate, if you'd done this with a smaller RR,
mate.
people would be complaining about, like, oh, it's the same RR, which people do, I do that. I'm one of the first people who would
Really
speak
cool,
up
like
when a
glasses.
round is released with the exact same roster as one that was released 2 weeks ago, and I don't think rounds with well-known people should be treated any differently. So, but when it's a one-time RR and you're not too worried about having an original roster, it sort of allows you to look at a round thinking, alright, this is a vanilla round with unoriginal people, which in any other terms I would bloody hate.
Yep.
But it's just nice. It's just a nice change, and because it's not going to happen again, you kind of get to enjoy it. And if it wasn't for the drama that occurred, I'd think the same about Rising Stars. But yeah,
Kyle.
shit happened. Sorry.
All right.
But yeah, do you
All
want
right,
to
good
move
topic.
on?
I think that was good discussion.
Okay,
Yeah.
talking about season 1 RR, the next one is going to be Simplistic, and I kind of like to start this one off.
Can I just interrupt you and ask you where you got that segue? Like, what store did you rent that from? Like, it was pretty
All
good.
Blart.
I don't get it.
Just go talk about it.
Humor.
Sorry, I've lost my train of thought now. Thank you.
We're moving on to
Season
Simplistic.
one.
Simplistic, yes, good. Okay.
Ordered round.
So Simplistic, I guess I'll do Max's part of explaining a bit of backstory. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Simplistic was a round that was released a couple of weeks ago. I think it's currently on, like, I don't know. Jeez, who is taking pictures?
It's
Alright,
on
let's take a
episode
selfie.
4, I think.
Simplistic episode 4 2 days ago. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
episode.
Can I just take
5
one
is
more?
tonight. So yeah, okay.
One more. All right,
yeah.
that's it.
Okay.
Okay, you're going over your limit, buddy.
The idea of Simplistic is that it tries to go with, like, the bare necessities of Minecraft and do sort of like game modes which restricts what people can do whilst trying to keep it as close to vanilla plus as possible. Now,
Yeah.
me and Max share the same views on this round pretty much, which is the fact that I think a round which their concept is trying to keep it close to vanilla is basically on the same level as conception of it's a round that's trying to turn being fuck's sake.
Guilty
It's
is a
a
great definition of conception.
Sorry, they're sending a dick
like
pic.
Okay.
fair enough. It's a round. It's a round which is trying to turn having no concept into its own concept. Like, vanilla is what you do if you don't have a concept and you just like, yeah, fuck it, we'll do this for the season, and you know, we're not bound to a concept, so we'll do whatever the fuck we want. And they're basically using the excuse of not having to put much effort into their seasons because the idea is to be vanilla and then make that their actual concept. Now, I completely dislike that because lots of rounds who have cool concepts have to put so much effort in to make that happen. Like, Ambition's a cool round, but you're not really bound to a concept, like, nor is Satamina. Whereas rounds like Nuzlocke and Out of Orbit, you know, the
Very
amount of
tight.
work they have to put in to get
Yeah,
successful seasons, and then you get a round like Simplistic, who make the whole idea.
The fuck is
We don't-
simplistic?
Okay, so
Okay, no, for me, it's a complete cop out. Like, if their gimmick was they kept as close to vanilla as possible, as in vanilla, like potions on, horses on, fire aspect on, like nothing disabled, that would be interesting. But they had to add the little plus in there. Maybe we can tweak things slightly.
Well,
it's
I can see why they did it
Oh yeah,
because like fuck all that other shit.
no, I
it's
can
like,
see why,
I don't even do that.
because that stuff ruins UHC.
Yeah.
And James made that comment himself in reply to what Max said, which I do
I'll
completely
go over.
agree. But
I'll
if,
go over my comment
if you
shortly.
can't, if your concept doesn't work, don't make it worse by making changes. Just don't do it. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I understand.
I see
You know,
that.
I feel bad for them because if it was just completely vanilla, I agree with you. That would be quite interesting. And it's a shame that the way UHC is nowadays, you can't do that. Like, it's kind of a good idea, which isn't viable anymore. But that doesn't mean you should do it. Just a shit version of it. Just don't do it. Like,
The main
It's like going, okay, we can't do this. Let's just water it down and then release that instead.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fair.
The main thing that I tried to get across in my comment was it's either like you have all of it or you have like none of it. You can't have a round that's advertised as
Vanilla
you know, all
plus.
vanilla and then be like, yeah, sorry, you know, we're having horses off and nether off, but you know, you can't have highlighted ors, Labimod or Fulbright because that's not vanilla. Nah, that's not
It
okay.
would be like if it was like, hello everyone, welcome to Out of Orbit Season 1, a recorded round about Earth-themed planets.
Yeah.
Or literally the Earth season is just like regular vanilla Minecraft.
I
And then
see.
like,
Yeah.
Season 1 is Earth.
Vanilla
Season
pudding
2
with
is
chocolate
Kepler
chips.
22b, which is also like Earth.
Grant said,
Yeah.
Season 3 is Earth
Grant said
again.
himself that Season 3 was the least effort he had to put in, because even though it was Mumble, he didn't have to do any of that cool custom terrain. It was
You didn't have to
literally
gen the
just a city
world. It's just city
map.
world, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, this is also getting off topic again a little bit, but how do we feel about themed recorded rounds versus non-themed recorded rounds?
in
People
now,
push themes
nowadays,
too
like,
hard.
I don't mind, because rounds that have existed for a long time and were existed when you didn't really have to have a theme for your recorded round, I don't mind that. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, Ambition shit because it doesn't have a concept. Like, that's just not
Hey!
fair. But if
Shut
you
your mouth.
if you started Ambition today and you just released Ambition with a bunch of people who are well known but with no real concept, that would not be okay. Because
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Not
Now-
okay.
nowadays-
I mean, we
no,
weren't
it's
well known
not.
when we released it, though. That
Yeah,
was
we were
the-
definitely
nowadays
not well known.
nowadays with the
Yeah,
nowadays
the
with
Chicken
the
Man
huge
got
amount
known
of
from that.
yeah,
recorded
but
rounds,
nowadays you are.
with the huge
Well,
amount of recorded rounds
some-
that
some-
exist nowadays, you really need something to stand out. Anymore.
Exactly.
If it's just like, oh, we got these people, it's vanilla.
Yeah.
Vanilla
Well-
2, it's like, what's interesting about this? Tell me,
Right.
You know,
please.
vanilla UHC can be
I
good to
can-
watch if the commentators are good, but there's too many rounds to just release vanilla seasons. This was the only example that I can think of a round which has been released semi-recently, which doesn't actually have a concept, is Fission. But there's so many, I think I've said this in another podcast,
Fission.
but there's so many other positive aspects of Fission that I
Yeah.
actually didn't really like. I was praising Fission on the podcast whilst talking about how much I hate
pronounce this
rounds that
word,
don't
though?
have concepts, and then Daphs or Winther or whoever it was messing with, it's like, you do realise Fission doesn't have a concept, right?
They're
not-
Fate,
they're not
I
fishing,
literally
they're
didn't
in
even
fission.
notice that.
It's not like they're going to catch fish.
Like,
Wait,
that's
they're
how
not?
good the round
What
is,
the
I just
fuck are
didn't
you
know.
talking about? Like,
He keeps on saying fishing.
Fishing
that's
season
not
one
what it
on
means.
fishing.
Oh my god.
Welcome to Fishing Season
No,
1,
it's
the
not
season
fishing.
mackerel.
Jesus.
No,
That's
back
not
then,
what you're saying.
back then, the
That's
way that you were
just
saying it,
stupid.
you're saying fish in, as in like a
Fission.
fish in,
Fission.
but it's fission,
Fission.
like in isjun, non-ishin.
You gotta get
Fission.
I used to go fishing at a
You're,
resort.
no.
Yes, thank you. Really, Scott? How'd
Right,
that
can I
go?
get... Alright, hold on, where's
Dude,
Daphs?
good.
Okay. Alright,
Special
you
guest
for the
around.
podcast.
We're fine. We're fine.
Okay, but I just see what you're saying. You can have a round that without a concept, and you can pull it off well, but it's very hard to do that because in today's like recorded round climate, you won't get any attention if you don't make it exciting. You really have to do something special and out there if you're not an already existing recorded round. And there are a lot of already existing recorded rounds like Ambition that don't have a concept that do really well, but just because they've been around for a while. If there is a recorded round that pops up now and it's like, as Bad Fan said, hey, we're doing like FFA vanilla, nobody would care, nobody would watch that. I think regardless of the cast. So now you really just got to do something big and interesting. But Fission is a good example of a round that was like, hey, we don't have a concept, but we can get a really good, good intros, good cast, and good seasons. Yeah, and Miles on Baseball.
Hey.
He left. I think he played season. I remember him being in. I don't think he's in it anymore. If he is, prove me wrong. But I remember him sitting in the TS with me, and he goes, "Hey, I have a one-time recorder round to play," and we just started shitting on him. And then it turned out to be Fission, and we're like, "Wow, Miles, you actually are in a one-time, or not a one-time recorder round. You're in a season 1 that's like good." And then he's like, "Oh, I think I left that." I'm like, "God damn it, Miles! Like, what the fuck, man?"
Yeah, you didn't play season 2 or 3, so just when you left.
Yeah.
But
Classic Miles. Not knowing when he leaves things.
Now this, I notice you're talking a lot about recorded rounds that do or don't have a concept. Like, even though Ambition doesn't have a concept, we have done
big
our
penises.
first 3. Yep, we have big penises. That's our concept.
Yep.
You have to send proof. That's why Scott was sending me.
why Lego wasn't added for a while.
Yeah.
All right.
He had to hit puberty. That's why I don't understand why Bobby's in it, but apparently, he's packing.
Yeah. Yeah. You got him before me, kid. Keep talking.
That also doesn't
So
explain,
we've done
emails.
for Ambition. We're on. We've released 16 seasons. We've done vanilla 4 times, and 3 of those times it was Ambition 1, 2, and 3.
Oh.
What was the other one?
Season 12. It was the anniversary season.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
Wait, was season
are you
7?
guys done with
No, season 7 was Mumble.
Simplistic? Because this is
Oh,
probably
yeah,
a
right.
good time to transition into the next one.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can probably choose.
Which is actually a very short one, but I guess it's just kind of a cool thing. How
is
did you
cool.
feel when Mindcrack used your game mode?
Oh my god, I sued.
I
Told
tweeted
the
at
dude
Good
straight up,
LP
like, this
and he
is not
ignored it.
okay.
I sent him
He's
an
in Myrtle
email.
Beach. You're lucky you can't see this.
I was in Myrtle Beach.
I killed
Alright,
Ethan.
Casmic, why didn't you say anything?
Hold on a minute, I'll DM Chad right now.
Alright.
What do you mean you're gonna DM?
Oh yeah, why didn't you fucking talk to? Oh,
Yeah,
son
you
of a
should
bitch.
have said something, man.
Hold on, let me
Another
add
kind of
Chad
interesting
on
thing
Discord.
is
Alright.
I feel like Mindcrack is
Dying.
yeah, of course, but like everyone who was in Ambition originally, like almost all of us got into UHC from Mindcrack. Like nowadays people don't get into UHC for Mindcrack. That doesn't happen
They get
because
into it from
so many
Xnastorio.
members of Ambition that have actually been around for so long, like a lot of us did watch Mindcrack and still know a lot of shit about Mindcrack. But we don't necessarily follow it anymore, but we did at the time. So Mindcrack, when Mindcrack did vanilla, or of course Mindcrack did vanilla. When Mindcrack did fucking Mumble, I was all over that shit. I wanted to like be the first recorder around on the subreddit to do Mumble, and I loved playing Mumble because back in like Ambition season 3, like when we added Tommy, I knew Tommy because Tommy hosted private Mumble games. And me and Soul on our server back like in 2014, 2015, we had a server and we used to host Mumble games all the time. We were in a group called Smallowcraft, and in that group we
Great.
met a bunch of people who would become like parts of Cynical and Desire. Like, they were part of Packed Ice. It was like Oyubook,
Oh
Zeneker, who else? Like a lot of people who
Microphone
would
muted.
end up in Desire. Like Kiram was part of that group, and
Fuck, I just
like
shoot
a lot of
patches.
people like that. Like it was all from Mumble games. And so when I
NJ?
see Mindcrack release Mumble UHC, I was like, "Oh shit, I need to do that immediately." And so we did that for season 7, and we were the first recorder around to do Mumble on the subreddit.
Now the tables have turned. Now they're copying us.
Yeah, now they're
Microphone
copying us.
activated.
So it's a pretty interesting dynamic. So they did anonymous, but they didn't really. When they did it, they didn't use it as like a specific game mode per se. Like they didn't say like, "Oh, we're doing like this game mode where everyone's disguised." They're like, "Oh no, it's just a little gimmick. Everyone's disguised as Dinnerbone." But the really interesting thing is they used the same plugin that we use. They used Gowden's anonymous plugin.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
They must have checked the Reddit then.
Yeah,
Because To be fair, I did invite Good to the podcast, never got a response.
I'm almost
Hold
positive
on, let
they
me DM
used
Chad.
the same thing.
Yeah, where's Max gone?
Why are you friends with Chad? I don't get this.
I'm
Please
not
explain
friends with
this to
Chad.
me.
I'm just in a Discord with him.
Nice.
Can you say that I want credit because it's my game mode, and I bet he's
Scott
got a
thinks
smaller
it's his
phalanx.
game mode.
It was. Go
It's
back in
just
time.
like Cut Clean. It's still mine.
No, it's-
You may have said the idea, and I said, hey, that's pretty cool, and made it. So I don't think people realize this, but Ambition
But
Season
Scott
8,
does all
when
the
we
wo-
first did Anonymous, was the most like janky shit ever.
It
Like
was.
it was so fucking like I
Yeah.
literally was just like, hey, I want to try this game mode out, and I just went and put a bunch of random fucking
It's not
plugins on my
idea.
server, and we got it to work. I remember like spending like 6 hours just trying to get this shit to work.
There's a thing whenever someone dies, it has like the
Yeah,
damage sound,
the noise.
and
There
every
was
time
so
somebody
many
dies, people are like, "Oh my god, what is that?"
Yeah, there was so many like really bad problems with it. And
Yeah.
that's partially why it took us so long. Like we redid Ambition Season 8 3 times. Like
Oh,
or 2
yeah.
times. Season
Because one of them,
Wasn't
Edvin,
the
had like a
greatest
million
season,
levels.
No, it
was
wasn't. No, but the idea, the entire Anonymous was fun. That's what
Yeah,
we
it was
liked
a
it a
cool
lot.
idea. I think the WMC 18 version, by that point, it was much more refined. Like,
Well, the reason why is because we didn't have a plugin. There was no plugin made. When I tell you I jankily made this shit, I literally downloaded plugins until it worked and said, okay, everyone join the server. It was real bad. And then when WMC did it, they actually got Gowden to make a plugin.
yeah.
And that current plugin is what we used when we did Anonymous again, and I'm pretty sure that's what Minecraft used.
Yeah, I was
Because
pretty upset that
Gowden
when I
made the
died, I
UHC
didn't hear my
mod.
death
You
twice.
see, so I was the one who first tested out Minecraft game mode. Yeah, because I was the one who tested like the new version, the one WMC used. Gowden had me test it on it.
Wow, look at you.
Mr.
Yeah, I
Big
know,
Show over
look at
here.
me,
Wow,
I'm amazing.
jeez, first
Sorry,
you
mister,
said
I'm in
our
a
podcast,
Discord
now
with
you're doing
OMG
Minecraft
Chad.
plugins. Look at
Don't
you.
mean to
Will
brag.
you
Right up
sign
the
my
ladder.
sphincter?
I don't mean to brag,
Shut
but
your mouth!
But yeah, so to jump back a little bit, talking like, yeah, Minecraft swaps game
I
modes,
did
that's
miss you,
cool.
Scott.
But we also don't really do like normal game modes. We do a lot of custom game modes. If you think about like what we've done,
Yeah, a lot
like-
of our game modes are original. Like
I agree.
Nice.
I don't remember a season
Nice.
that we played where it's just been like, hey,
But
should we do
probably
a
like Mole.
normal game
We
mode
did
or
Mole.
should we just we did Mole, but like
Just
usually
around
it's
kids,
like
though.
we think of
Yeah.
making a game mode first.
Avatar was so fucking.
maybe
Oh,
you
yeah.
could count Soul Brothers for season 9 as like a more popularized game mode, especially for recorded
Yeah,
rounds.
Well,
but-
that was
We-
double D,
11.
so brother.
It was
Yeah,
definitely
that
so
was that was a neat little spin on it, I guess.
like we really try not to do really simple game modes. Like going
was the
through it all, like
one-
we did self-diagnosis, which is fucking Hitler. Don't ever.
Yeah.
play
Oh,
that
yeah.
game.
Season 4,
It's
wasn't
so-
it?
That was
That's why I
season 4
died
and
in season 14
we, we did Isolation, which was
Isolation
season
was the
14.
worst game that I've ever played in
It
my
was
life.
it was like it was hard. It was real
Yeah,
hard. You didn't know
according
you
to
were
I died,
Isolation has
like-
just been ruined for me because
It was
Yeah.
tough to watch because I had no clue who died or not, so I was just
Yeah.
like,
Okay,
That-
it-
that-
it-
no,
not
that was
only
the
was
point
it
of the
hard
game,
to
so
play,
you
it
watched
was
everyone's
not fun to
perspective.
play.
Yeah.
I
Like,
guess.
a lot, like I like to take a lot of risks when we play games. I like to try to make it entertaining because
There's
I
a
don't.
man who spends 12 hours caving, blocking off every
Fuck
fucking
off.
way, and has a small
Um,
penis.
Hey, Kaoki, remember when you won Vindictive by not getting a kill?
Oh yeah, throwback. We can talk about Vindictive later.
No, we just shouldn't.
We've been off topic 99%
Vindictive
of
was a
this.
record round organized by Vi7155, in which I won with 0 kills because the last team double killed. It was fun.
Oh, nice.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
gonna-
Lego and Dibs were talking about that last time.
Good shit.
One thing I will
the
say,
the
one
intro's
thing
still
is
public, made by Potato Sack 1.
one thing that's
Rip.
interesting about the fact that Minecraft used Anonymous is they've used it twice now, because they started releasing a new season like sometime like a week ago.
Oh
Did
really?
really? No
Yeah,
way.
I didn't know.
It's Anonymous again, and they're all dressed up as Good. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
not a
it's
joke.
Team 2 this time.
Is the
I had no
intro any
idea.
good?
It's Good's intro.
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
literally just Good's intro, but repurposed for a
Well,
Minecraft.
How do you guys
game.
feel about Minecraft never having intros? Because the UHC subreddit puts so much like pressure on making good intros, and Minecraft just never has intros.
I kind of admire them for that in a sense.
Really?
But I do have to
I think
say,
it'd be
people,
like, popular
I've
YouTubers.
I've gotten a lot of, or I've seen a lot of criticism of Minecraft's intros.
Lego, fuck off.
I've seen a lot of criticism from Mindcrack's intros and people not calling them intros, and that was for the time span in like the mid-20 seasons where they used intros that didn't actually have renders, but it was just the names on the screen. Even
we
though
did that.
even though they were
Yeah, but you did it really well with
but
the
they did
logos.
it well though too, because they had like the it was kind of, I think Ambition 15's intro is very similar to the Minecraft ones because they had like, you know, the kind of fading, you know, like clouds around the stuff
Yeah.
too. And I also really like the music Minecraft choose for them. So I personally like their intros that they do, but you know.
Well, that's another thing. At least I try to do with our intros. I try to make them somewhat like unique. Like season 15, I don't get any credit for. That was all Kevin, all by tech. So he did that literally by himself. He went in Illustrator and made those backgrounds, and he wanted creative freedom. And I said, "Fuck it, go for it." And it turned out really, really well. But like season 14, people really tell me that they really like that one, even though I didn't. Personally, it's not one of
No,
my
I
favorites.
really liked the intro. It's just shame Lego Beast wasn't it.
Yeah, we're back to Lego Beast.
Do you wanna move on? Because like we're talking about Minecraft, and that's not really what we're talking about anymore.
That's
It's
fine.
half-
We're
it's
talking about
half the
game modes,
subject.
Ambition game modes.
All right, fine. Impromptu concept topic there. I guess.
Sure.
Same thing.
But anyway, we kind of have the next one, which is about the
Mhm.
the roster. How like because Ambition is the round on the subreddit which has the most different people play it.
Yep.
So how has like the roster progressed
So,
in season 1?
I really like talking about the Ambition roster
Then please.
because because the fact that out of all recorder rounds out there that have been around for this long, other than maybe WMC, we have so many players who played season 1 and season 2. Like if you look at the way that we split up the season 16 teams, we made it so that the players who joined in the first year were in one section, the second year were in another section, and the final year in the third section. But we had so many players from the first year that we had to limit it to only people who played the first and second season get to be in this section. Because
Yeah.
there are so many players that have been in season 1. Like if you look at the season 1 roster, if I pulled it up right now, there's so many players that are still in the round and still play. Like even though we don't play Minecraft regularly, we always come back and we play. Like
Yeah, but there's
Scott and
also like you also have, like the inactivity removals thing. KOK
Oh,
on
yeah.
like the post, like
I can
Happy Kirby,
explain that.
we
Basically,
all
another
those
thing,
people.
what I like to do with my recorder round is instead of just removing people for not being around, I give them like what I call an inactivity removal. So basically, it's like, oh, you haven't played in like 4 seasons, so I'm going to remove you from the Skype chat, but if you ever want to join back, you can.
Wasn't MP in the chat until somewhat recently, kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
MP literally dropped off the face of the earth, but I have him on Snapchat, and he's always doing random shit.
Yeah,
Like sitting on a bridge.
He Snapchatted me a picture of his hairy ass arm yesterday, and he's like, and it's like, hey Lego, what do you think of this mole? And it was just a hair. There was no mole.
That's MPMG for you.
I'm glad to see
Anyway,
he's still around, kind of.
Anyway, I have a family emergency, so I'm gonna have to drop out of this one real soon. Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
jeez.
Oh, thank God! I thought we were gonna have to go on an episode when nobody left or joined halfway through. Keep
Yeah,
up the
well,
tradition.
sorry. All right, well, good luck. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Alright, see you
Bye.
later.
Bye.
Disconnected from your channel.
Like, if I'm
Thank
looking at the
God.
people currently in the Skype chat that played in the first couple seasons, like there's Sneeg. Sneeg was supposed to come today, but he's really busy.
No, it's not.
He's taking care of a new puppy, okay? Technically, Brick played season 3, even though he's not really. Like, he's only rejoined recently. Jacob Kraft played season 1. Epic played season 1. Miles played season 1. Plant played season 2.
Boo.
Bobster played season 1. Mischievous played season 1. Script played season 2. Tommy joined season 3. Like, there's a lot of people in the chat that have just played since the beginning. And if you look at a lot of other recorder rounds, they just don't have that.
Yeah.
Like, if you take the current roster to the like original roster, there's like maybe 1 or 2 people that are the same.
Which
Just
is
'cause,
really
like,
kind of the opposite of what you'd expect, because considering so many different people have played Ambition, you thought that would have been
Yeah.
a result of everyone who used to play has moved on and you've had to rebuild the roster so many times. But it's like the core group has stayed the same. It's just
Yeah.
throughout the times. Like I bet you've got more people from seasons 1 and 2 than you do from like season 8. Like people who joined
Yeah,
back
oh yeah,
then
absolutely.
have left, but like the actual core original group is still there. So it's kind of the opposite of like what you'd expect of a round that has had so many different people play. Is it like 78 if I remember from the trailer?
It's like a stupid amount. I don't even. It's gonna be more because we're adding more people for season 17.
Too much because that kind
It's-
of goes on to
It's
another
because
topic.
many people join Ambition through like friend groups and stuff, and
And leave after like one season.
leave after like
Yeah.
1 or 2 seasons. So like people go through like phases of hanging out with certain people, and then they join the TS, and then they kind of fit in decently well. So they'll get added to the record run with like 3 other people that are friends with them. So like we added like Potato Sack and like
Rip Potato.
just we had like 3 people in season 6, I think, that just joined out of nowhere.
Bad
And then-
Merrick.
Yeah, like it all has
Yeah.
to do with people like hanging out with other people, and
Yeah.
then if they don't want to play, that's fine. Like people who want to play will stay in the recorder round.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'd rather have people who want to be in the recorded round, than like someone who's like, okay, I guess I'll play, and then they just come and it's like they don't have any interest in it and it's just boring, and then they just don't care about it. So
Yeah.
I try not to like force people. Like I said, I try to do the inactivity removal thing where people, if they don't want to play, then that's fine. You can come back at any time you want when you want to play. But I'd rather you be here to play than force yourself to play.
Yeah, which is fair.
So I try to do that, and then, so like if you look at the roster, like how it usually works is you have the core group, like you said, that stick around and play every season, and there's a lot of people that come to the TS all the time, that just never play the recorder round. Like Soul, I talk to Soul all the time, but he just has 0 interest in Minecraft, so he just doesn't play the recorder round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, what's kind of really interesting is the fact that we've been a group for over 3 years now. And so a lot of these people I've known for over 3 years, and I've seen them, like, grow up, literally. Like, quite literally. If you look at Scribb's old videos, he sounds
If you
like,
look at Bobby the Turtle.
yeah.
No,
like-
Bobby hasn't grown up yet.
He's still-
When we started Ambition, like, I wasn't organizing it. Like, it really didn't have an organizer. It was really bad shit. But I was like the old man of the group, and I
What
was
are
a
you
senior
talking
in high
about?
school.
Mr. Kraft did a great job.
Fuck off.
Hippity.
I was senior in high school, and now it's at the point where a lot of people are like in college. Like Scott and I are both in college. Epic's graduating this year from high school, and there's just a lot of people are growing up, and it's just really interesting to see because I knew these people when they were 15 years old. Now they're 18 and moving out or getting jobs and graduating and going to college, and it's just really cool to think
Getting
like look back
married.
on our old videos and be like,
Yeah.
wow, remember when
Yeah,
we were
I'm
all
getting married next week.
yeah, Scott and I are
nice.
getting married if
Who?
anyone wants to come.
Who is?
Me and
Me.
Michus.
And they're legally adopting
Oh,
me.
right.
No, we're not legally
Ah,
adopting
right,
you.
yeah.
All right,
Or
then I'll just take
illegally
another
adopting
place.
you. Get it right.
Same thing.
But-
But yeah, that's a neat point, and it's kind of, I think it would be cool to see how many people, like I thought about this before for myself, in a few years, how many people will I still be in contact with from here? Like,
Mhm.
will I still actually be talking to anybody? Like, not even about anything related to the community, but will I still have contact with people? Or like, will I talk to them on like a somewhat active basis, or will I've completely disconnected myself? I don't know. That's kind of interesting to think about this stuff.
It's
I
probably.
think it
think-
depends on
So-
how old
so-
you.
I
Go ahead,
reckon I'd
go ahead.
always sort of stay in contact. Like you do get the impression there's some people who you'll sort of always, you'll be in contact with after the community's gone. Like
Yeah.
people who you just get along with and know so well. Like, but then again, some of the people you think that originally, like they kind of just disappear off the face of the earth, and like.
Yeah,
Right.
they
Some of my
clearly
best
want to have a
friends-
complete cutoff and
Well,
disconnect.
it's the same thing with high school and college. Like, there's a lot of people that are friends in high school, and then after high school they never talk to each other again. But then at the same time, there's people who are in high school and they're friends, and then they talk to each other every day. And
Yeah.
I feel like in a lot of ways it's similar to that. It's like who you keep in contact with. You can never know, but some people you might be making lifelong friends with, and some people, like, even though it's like great being friends at the time, but people go separate ways and don't talk anymore, and that's just how
But-
friendships work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind
In
of how
any
I
day
think
life.
about it, because like I've known Keoki for like almost 4 years now, right? Like
Yeah.
somewhat about that. Like we have an age gap of like 3 years, but
No, the wage gap doesn't exist.
no, sorry, I said age gap. Okay.
Yeah, okay, my
Um,
bad.
Like I don't see
Continue.
myself losing contact with Keoki for the next like 3 years or anything like that. we'll both move on to bigger and better things, but
I'm gonna be homeless.
like we'll have Skype still on our computers and like things.
Yeah, like I don't
I
see
won't have a
myself
computer.
uninstalling Skype or like communicating on Snapchat or Twitter. Like
I
even
cannot
if
see
you don't use
myself
it regularly.
removing karaoke on Skype. Like that's the main focus.
Can I remove him right now?
Oh,
for
yeah, you
dramatic
don't know
effect?
these
Fun
things,
fact.
though.
You know who we still keep in contact with? It's TX Bill.
Oh,
Right.
really?
Oh,
Yeah. Like Bill, he had a second daughter.
Oh,
I didn't
Yeah.
know he was.
He's 35
Yeah,
years
he's
old.
What?
I didn't know he had children.
Jesus
All
Christ.
right, it's a bit
He's
of a
married
plot
with
twist.
2 kids.
Oh, wow.
And like randomly, like every once in a while, I'll just get a message from him. And he asks me how I'm doing. Like randomly, I hadn't talked to him in months. He commented on my Ambition episode when I
Yeah, he
won
does that
Ambition
in my
season
videos,
16.
too.
I won Ambition season 16. I didn't tell him about it or anything, and he was just like, "Congrats, man! You deserve it." And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, why are you commenting? What the fuck?" And he's just around, and like even
That's
though
really cool.
I feel like a lot of people lurk. Like just because you're not active doesn't mean you're not looking.
Yeah,
I'm
like
still-
they're.
I have Raven on Snapchat. Like Raven has a girlfriend now. He's
Oh.
an edgy white male.
I
like-
thought he was a female
Yeah, I
with how
mean,
long his hair
yeah.
Oh,
is.
he
no,
got a haircut like 2 days ago.
Calling
thank
Fiasco
God.
a cunt, he must be an edgy man. You
Yeah,
know?
but like, just because he's not like active doesn't mean he doesn't look.
Yeah, I'm not
There,
active.
there
I
have been
haven't
posts
worked
on the
out in forever.
subreddit that I've seen before, which is like, any of you lurkers around? And then I'll get people that like, it's like, hey, I saw you in a game like 2.5 years ago, and they're just like, yeah, I haven't really been around, but I check this subreddit like once a week or something. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, huh. Like people still do that, but you just don't think it because they don't post anything, but they're there.
Right.
Mhm.
Like I still check the subreddit every day, even though I don't comment often.
I don't. I check it like once a month. If I'm being real here.
I only
watch
check it for RRs, but I kind
Yeah,
of
I do
have to because I run this series.
I
don't
also
know
kinda
anything
have
about
to because I
RRs,
run
and
this
that kinda looks
Reddit.
badly.
Yeah, you kind of do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you want to move on then?
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Alright, so
To another life.
you
yes.
guys, the reason I've done this is because it's probably more relevant to Ambition than any other RRs, because I reckon you guys probably put more effort into it. Like, the
Mhm.
importance of anniversary seasons, like, more than any, like, if I think of which round hypes up their anniversary seasons
Yeah.
the most, Ambition is the one that comes
Yeah,
to
we do
mind.
that.
Like, I think, to be honest, season 20 of WMC was the first time I've noted it being their anniversary, and it's after 4 years. Whereas
Yeah.
you guys, season 7 it was huge, season 12 it was huge, season 16. Also the gap, like, that's 7 seasons, and then 5 seasons, then 4 seasons. Like,
Yeah.
the amount people release RRs is sort of a reflection on the amount of effort and time that goes into them. Like,
Well,
pumping out
for-
7
yeah,
seasons
yeah.
before an anniversary. No round that started today in a year's
do that.
time would be releasing
No.
their season 7. It would probably be, I don't know, 4 or 5 at a push. Like Pathfinder, their anniversary was the 5th.
The fifth, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I think Mindcrack, their anniversary was 9. Cube anniversary was 9. I'm trying to think
For
of
me,
others
the way
when
that
there's-
it kind of corresponds is how interested the group is in general. Like back when we first started, that's all we did. Like we had our own team speak, and what did we do every day? We played UHC.
All we did was play
Yeah,
UHC.
literally UHC. But now, like, even though we still play like on occasion. So a lot of people play more than others, but it's also we're a lot older now. Like when we started, like I said, we were all in high school, and now like a lot of us are in college or going to college and have responsibilities that we didn't used to, where we can't sit down at our computers and play for, the entire day playing UHC.
Yeah.
Even like an hour and a half to play UHC, people just over and over again. Like,
Yeah.
That's how I feel with UHC nowadays. It's like I'll play an hour and a half game and be like, I died. That
I
was
just
a
wasted
huge
an
waste
hour
of
and a
time.
half. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I see
think-
that a lot.
I think anniversary seasons are really important to me because it kind of just shows the group in itself, like celebrating how long we've been, like together.
We're like
as
an angry
friends.
wife. We never forget our anniversary,
It's
even if you
Exactly.
do.
Like, I don't know. A lot of us are like still good friends to this day. Like nobody in this group ever gets like into so much beef with each other that they like never want to talk to them again.
That's short
At
game.
least from the starting point. Like we've gotten in arguments and stuff before, but like we're at the end of the day we're not gonna
Yeah, we're still
fucking
friends.
leave the community over it.
And I know I put a lot of effort into organizing anniversary seasons. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Season 6 of Ambition was really not well received.
Yeah.
That was the season that
Yeah,
Endgame
I
left,
remember that. Yeah.
and like basically the record around was dying, and that's when Scott was still the head organizer. Like I was in my first semester of college. Like I couldn't focus on the round, and basically it was the point where I needed to say, okay, we're either gonna shut this down or I need to step up and like do big things. And I stepped up and I put this big ass post in the subreddit. I put it into like a Word document. It was like 5 pages. It was fucking huge. It was a long ass post, just talking about like our future and what we want to do and like why we should continue and just everything about it.
I'm telling you, angry wife.
I'm glad that we did, and we hyped up. I released the trailer on the subreddit. That's one of my most liked videos on Reddit.
Yeah, I really like
The season 7
anniversary
trailer.
trailers for Ambition.
And then
Yeah.
I don't even
Seven was
think
probably my favorite.
I don't know if I did a trailer for season 12.
Yeah, I definitely like. Well, it was a lot more text heavy on season 7.
Yeah, I
You
do.
kind
I
of-
do a lot of text. Yeah.
It kind of felt like I find it funny because it kind of felt like you were getting a bit bored of it. Like season 7 was this like massive. Oh my god!
Yeah.
hold
yeah.
on. Can I
Shit's
just
about to
say,
go
brand new
down.
record around just been released to the subreddit.
Oh.
Like literally just now. Check this motherfucker.
What?
the hell?
What is
Check
What?
this. Ultra Cake Core season 3 episode.
Excuse me.
I literally
It's got
just
Sten
refreshed-
Stone.
Hell yeah, it's got Sten.
No
I should also-
way.
I should also point out I'm in this. I just missed this season.
Stan.
I played.
What
I
is
played
Ultra-
season 2.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It's a non-Reddit group that playing playing 1.9 plus.
Oh, I'm not
Okay.
doing this
Interesting.
shit. This is
I think
great.
the name
literally
is a
just
little
randomly
odd, but I'll
refreshed
go
the
with it.
subreddit.
It's because it's based off of an actual I think they're like a YouTube group called K-Core, and this is their UHC.
Ultra Cake Core. I thought it was like a cake concept at first when I saw the link, and I was like,
Well, it's a.
Season 3, Red Velvet.
yeah, I can't wait.
Well, a lot of people, even if they're not a part of the Reddit, use Reddit as an outlet
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
just like get their videos out there.
I
Like
use my
Polycraft,
wall
for
as an
example.
outlet.
Like another example is Bacon Craftia. Kirby,
They put
you know,
the
he'll put the intros. He just
Yeah.
puts the intros. He doesn't put the actual episodes. He just puts the
the
intros to get
season
feedback.
25 intro was absolutely amazing. I love it.
Is that the
so
boat
much.
one?
With the boats, it's great.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was saying about like with season 7, it was like 7 minutes of like
Yeah, it was
of,
like 5
just
minutes.
solid
It was long.
text leading up to Ambition, and then season 16 it was kind of like yeah we've said all this before, let's get into it. 78 players and all that, and then it was
Yeah.
like, the highlights.
Well, the thing is, no one wants to sit there and watch 5 minutes of text. Everyone's
Really,
just gonna
I
close
liked
the fucking
it.
video.
I would have watched it.
Well, yeah, but like, not most people will. Maybe back in the day, yeah, but like nowadays, no.
It's like back then people like slow it's like slow UHCs, and like the meta of trailers has also gotten
Yeah.
fast paced. Yeah.
And I try to incorporate a little bit of text every time. Like if you look at the season 13 intro,
Yeah,
like I
like-
do a long version and a short
There
version.
were 4 elements to rule.
Yeah,
them all.
yeah.
Wow,
So like I
that's-
do a long one and a short one. People can do what they want. People who like it watch it. People who don't will skip it. Like whatever.
Heyoki's
But-
made the intros for the past, I guess it's kind of faded into other people making it, but he made like 4 seasons in a row, and they were all really well made.
Well,
Of course,
I
yeah,
remember
people
back
don't.
I
back when
absolutely love-
Ambition started. Like we were kind of like the misfits of the subreddit. Like like I
This
said,
is
we
true.
weren't very popular. Like you know who was
Speak for
popular was
yourself.
fucking Mindcool. That's
Just
who was
kidding.
popular.
Yeah.
And then like our intros were not good. They're real bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Oh,
you're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
Season 2 is beautiful.
Yeah. But
What are you
Like,
guys laughing
eventually-
at?
when I revamped it with season 7, I said we are making a good intro, and
And then
people
we
really
didn't.
liked the season 7 was good. Fuck off.
It was good
Tommy
at the
made
time.
that one.
Season
For the-
8
for the
was
time, I would
first,
say it was-
what I consider to be like looking back now in comparison to nowadays intro. Season 8 is the first one I'd consider to be like.
Oh, season 8 was great. I love
Season 10 is still my favorite Ambition intro.
Which one's
Season 10
I
was
love
good,
season
too.
12 about the fact that you sort of did like for
Season
the first...
12 is my favorite intro I've ever made. It's my favorite video I've ever
Is that
made.
the cock
The
one?
only
I mean,
thing
clock
didn't
one?
like
Yes, the clock one.
was
I like
the
5
like,
and
spent-
6.
I loved the start of it with like the first load of teams, like the first 12 teams being the first 11 teams.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, that
being,
was
like,
the inspiration behind it.
From each season.
It was
You
we
couldn't
used
really
the render
tell
style.
it for the first couple. Like I didn't notice it until season
Probably
8.
season 8.
Season 8,
With
where there was like the
there was
anonymous
Clues
in the
and King.
background, 9 with the picture frame.
Yeah.
10 with
10
like the
with, like-
renders and the
Yeah, I
in the
really loved
thing.
season
Right.
10 because it was literally exactly
Because
the same.
that's
sort of
the thing about that was
recreated.
it looks like the old intros because we used to make, because our old intros were not very good. They were very basic. And then once season 7 rolled around, I said, okay, we're gonna start doing some cool shit. So we did. Season 7 was kind of bland, but it was good for the time.
Yeah.
Season 8 was the anonymous one in the prison. That was cool. Season 9 was the storybook one. Season 10 was animated. Season 11 was
That one felt more nostalgic
yeah.
to the older intros.
right. But we used the render style. We used the background. We used the text. What's it called? We used the font, and the way that we displayed the renders was all the same. And so that was, and it corresponded with the clock. The clock was symbolic because, it's 12 seasons, 2 years, goes around, one rotation. And then also, we went, the spawn, I fucking loved making that spawn. It was so fun. That was when we had the circle. Charlie makes all the spawns. Plant One Fish makes all the spawns for us. Charlie and I made that, and we split up all the different sections and put the spawn in from each season. Like season 3, we had the boat. So we did the big ass pirate ship,
Oh yeah.
and so like and stuff like that. Like when we did season 3, what we said was, okay, everyone needs to join the server at some point and make a boat for themselves, and that's what you stand in. You couldn't do that nowadays. I'm lucky to get people to show up on the server 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
So like it just like goes back and goes to show like how different the group used to be. Because that was what we did. We used to play UHC, and now we don't. Now we've moved on to different things, but I still like to think we all come back. Like, we can come back once every 3-4 months and play a game with each other, just like we used to, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And that's the one day that the TS is always, like, popping. You go into the TS, and there's literally 30 people on a channel, and I'm like, man, this reminds me of Ambition Season 3. When this used to be
That's one thing that I've always liked. The one recorded round that I can compare that to, coming off of personal experiences like Out of Orbit. Like specifically, I remember the Out of Orbit 6 pregame was so much fun because it was just like 30 of us in a channel on a watch together, and we were just like laughing for like an hour. It was so much fun
it's real
because
fun,
everybody
except
was
for the
there.
people organizing, it's stressful as fuck.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. But I enjoyed it.
I made myself responsible for my own footage for like season 4 and up to record pregame stuff and not erase it. So I still have like season 4's pregame like an hour before it started on my laptop.
That's cool.
And I looked back at it like a couple months ago and I watched it the whole thing and I was just sitting there giggling.
It's just fun. Everyone's laughing their ass off. People are moaning Dibscraft. Shadow starts singing. Like, it's just fun. Ambition Season 4, the song, the musical, like, is good shit. It's just fun. It's fun, and it's really nostalgic to go back and just think about how everything used to be.
That is another thing that I've always... Okay.
Scott, we're doing a podcast, and you're not fucking supposed to be slurping.
Huh? Sorry, I didn't hear sucker.
That is another thing that I've always admired Ambition for, is that whenever you're watching it, it really just does feel like a big ol' everybody's friend sort of thing. And it gives off this really nice atmosphere in seasons, which you don't usually get. So that's something I can appreciate.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Like, when I try to add people, like, I don't try to add really good people, because if I add good people, they're going to kick everyone's ass.
Michael.
We had fucking Cappy, and he wins 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
But... we added Cappy because Cappy's fucking hilarious.
We added
He's just
Cappy
fun to play with.
Green.
Yeah, we added Cappy. Yeah, we make that joke. We added Green, and Green started doing well, so we added Cappy to nerf Green, and then it nerfed him too well, and now Cappy's too good. And now I gotta add like, someone else. Yeah, right. And then go back.
And then you're really screwed.
I think it also shows our level of maturity and how it's still like almost the same, because back in like season I don't know what season we started muting everybody in the channel, but in season 1 we were all unmuted in a Skype call together.
Yeah. Oh god.
Skype call. The start of the talking intro part, Snee goes, "All right, everybody, welcome to," and Joey King goes,
yeah, he just starts coughing.
Didn't you guys use like public channels in UHC.tv for some season? Yeah,
that was season 1.
That was
Yeah,
season
season
1.
one.
Yeah, we
We
used
had
it in,
the
like,
Chicken Man joined one of the channels.
Yeah, he joined my channel with Engel and Brandon Tufano, and he was we were like, "Who just joined? Can you like leave? We're doing something important." He goes, "I'm trying."
Like, yeah, I used the Insorum TS. Like,
Oh yeah.
that's the one that we used.
I had a
Whichever
10 slot Derp J Max server, so I think we had like 2 or 3 teams in there.
Yeah, but eventually, like, yeah, when we started playing, it was the days where there was no private channels in the public TS. Everything was open. You could join whatever channel you wanted.
Most people use
And-
Skype.
Season 3 rolled around, or probably like season 2 to 3. Scott ended up buying a TS, and it was the Ambition TS, and that's what
Oh, yeah.
everyone used. And we still like basically, we don't have the same server anymore because Scott stopped paying for it, and I still pay for it now. But it's just like
Make
that's
me
the one
sound
that,
like I'm poor.
yeah.
I've had
or
this
two, it's
team
okay.
speak for like 2.5 years. It's been the same one
Yeah.
since I got it. Although I'm closing it soon, sadly.
Mhm.
But
I still
Rest in
look back
peace.
on some of the early seasons of Ambition, especially seasons 3 and 5, as really good recorded rounds, like
Yeah,
entertaining
3
ones to
was
watch.
really good.
Yeah,
I like
3.
5 was
Five.
the mole one. 5 was
I
real
like
fun
5.
Cheesy
Oh, I don't know
monkey.
why you would like 5.
too. Fucking full diamond cocksucking motherfucker. That's my favorite line from the season. That was me. Quote from myself. I turn around and Scott's behind me.
Oh yeah, because you had the whole like F5 thing, where like 2 times you F5'd and you caught somebody running behind you
Yeah, I did
before.
that twice.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, and you know who I fucking got that trick from? Short Gamer. Fun fact, I was a Short Gamer fanboy before he was even in Ambition.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
loved watching short videos.
I was too, actually. Him and Scribble.
Yeah, and so we added them, and he always did F5, and I'm like, man, I should try doing that, and it just worked. Like,
It just
Bobby
works.
was like,
Alright.
when I first met Bobby, he was like, oh, I remember you because you fucked up Bob in Ambition Season 5 because he was walking behind you, and all of a sudden you just turned around and kicked his ass. Like, that's how Bobby knew me. He was the guy that fucked up Bobster.
A good title to have.
I'm
Yeah.
no quantum physicist, but I don't think this is anything to do with anniversary season.
That's
Do you want to
close.
move on?
No, it's nostalgia of Ambition. That's what it is.
Alright,
Yeah.
okay. Do
Listen,
we want
I'll
to
come
move
up
on
with the
anyway,
titles. You
then?
just-
That's
put the
all
links.
that ambition is. It's just
We were lucky to get us
have
on
all the
topic for
nostalgia
more than
issues.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we want to move on to the next
Yeah, we
thing,
can
wait
then
For sure.
So like,
I permit you to move on.
is Ambition like the second oldest standing RR?
No. Wait.
Fourth, I think.
First was WMC. Second was
AP.
R&R.
Yeah,
Third
R&R,
was
then
third
AP.
was
Dennis.
AP.
Draft Captors too. So
Well,
we were
Draft
fifth.
Crafters was
Yeah, I'm talking about lit standing.
If you count standing,
Yeah.
I don't know if R&R still exists, but if R&R
it
and
does.
WMC. So those
It
two are the
exists.
only ones older than us that still exist.
Alright.
the
You're the
active.
third,
I don't
then.
know if R&R is active enough.
I'm
active-
pretty
I don't
sure
know.
Burning and Kowalski do stuff with it. I think Dan's is pretty
Yeah.
much written off. though.
I
But-
know that
yeah.
I know that we made ours after R&R because that's
Yep.
why we got a lot of hate.
TTE was right after us, like probably like
Oh,
the week
yeah.
after us.
Oh, and
So
MTU.
Yeah,
was,
you first
Yeah.
you first aired on January 28th, and TTE was February 8th.
Yeah,
Oh,
It was
wow.
right after.
Okay.
I remember they were gonna release, and we messaged Sid, and we were like, Sid was somehow involved. Oh, Draft Crafters, that's why. And we
Yeah.
asked Sid, and he was like, okay, we'll delay our release till after you go. That
Yeah.
like, cause there was no scheduling. There was no scheduling like doc. People just released, and you're like, fuck, we're supposed to release tomorrow, and R&R release today. Like, we're okay, we're totally fucked now. Like, that's basically the origin of the record around doc. We were like, okay, we need to find a better way to do this without fucking each other over.
Yeah, and I mean, you could still say the same thing today, considering that R&R is not an active participator in the doc, but
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's an historic
I swear
connection.
R&R were never in the.
Yeah, they
Sure.
they never did it. I mean,
Oh,
to
I
be
thought
fair,
they were in
like,
there at one point, or were they?
they were
never
at
in there?
one point. To
Oh,
be
okay.
fair, the doc is a scheduling guideline. I could just be like, fuck everyone. I'm releasing whenever I want, like, because technically it's not a rule set. Like, you can do whatever you want, but
Yeah.
it's just to help
Literally no
coordinate.
punishment at all. It's
Yeah, you'll get bad feedback and shit, but like for the most part, you want to try to accommodate as many people as possible. So
I remember getting really bad when we moved to the new chat, and Casmic added a section for scheduling, and I'm like, there's just no need for a recording schedule, because if people are already playing an RR on that day, they just won't bloody
They
vote for
won't
the
sign
date.
up. Yeah.
You don't
The reason-
need,
the reason
you don't
I
need
added it-
people
the
to
reason I added-
spoil when they're actually recording the season, because then if you know there's a round on that day, and one of your friends like, yeah, I'm playing an RR today, and they're a newcomer, and they're like, right, well I know what round you're playing then, unless it's a season 1. So it's an easy way
Well,
to
look at
spoil
the two,
newcomers to
the
like
two,
60
the two things I'll say.
people in a chat.
The two things I'll say about that. One, the reason I made it was because multiple people asked me to make it. It wasn't
Yeah.
like,
Really?
hey guys.
It is a conflict. Like usually, like with Ambition at least, what I can speak for it is, I do try to schedule around other recorder rounds. Like if I know like Phobia's recording on this date, I'm not going to play Ambition on the same date, or I'm going to put it at a later time. And the way that I find that information out is being like, okay, let's do this as a date, and then Scott messaged me and is like, okay, Phobia's recording that time. I'm like, okay, well, I have to change my time. So it is useful for sure. I can see that, but I can see why people would abuse that to figure out what's coming up next.
I mean,
People
I
that
do-
do
I
the
do
doc
know-
is
I
It's
do-
not even a
I
case
do-
of doing it purposefully. Like,
No,
if I
yeah.
knew there was a round that day because I checked the schedule, and then Max, being the RR who he is, said, "Oh yeah, I'm
Oh,
playing
no.
RR today." And I'm like, you know the people in that round, and I know that round's being recorded today. I wonder what round you're playing. Like,
yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean I'm going out of my way to actually try and be a dick and find out about it. But if
Right.
it just happens,
It's just
to go
it's
that
inevitably
way,
will
it's
happen.
Easy
I think
to-
it's for me. Like one thing I see that is useful because I do know that there are some because a lot of rounds nowadays work on a basis of here's a selection of votes, pick your what's worked for you. But I do know of a few rounds that just they go here's a day. If you can't make it, tough. If
Yeah,
enough
that's
people
what I
can't
do.
make it, let's choose a new one.
Anyway, I don't
I'm
want
pretty
to, like, kill
dictator-like.
the conversation, but talking about an RR calendar, which is a chat with 40 people in, is completely irrelevant.
This is fun. No, it relates to.
No, I
recording
think
rounds, man.
it's kind of interesting to talk
Really?
about. I think it's kind of interesting to talk about just
Like,
because
conflicting
it's. Well-
It gives people perspective into how recording rounds schedule themselves.
I suppose.
Yeah,
Very
it's,
poorly.
it's
Anyway, I
more.
didn't-
Very poorly.
Yeah.
With no regards to other people other than their own, and everyone's trying to
I
elbow each other
always
out of the
thought
way.
everyone was quite good, to be fair. It's like,
The
hi,
chat-
Remember the reason we made a new
I'm
chat?
releasing this on the
Yeah,
same
no, the
day."
reason. Okay, I think we talked about this in a previous episode. Am I correct on that? The new chat.
Yeah,
I
we
could be
did,
wrong,
we
but yeah, we did.
Not the new
Um,
chat.
Okay, so there was a new chat was made because people were kind of abusing the powers of the old chat by adding people that were not meant to be there and basically just making a mockery of the
Yes.
entire thing. But one major positive in my eyes for making the new chat was you had like 15 people in the other chat that weren't organizing but were still kept in the chat and it
I'm
was
glad
not
White-
moderated at
I'm
all.
glad YGT
basically
was still
refreshed
in
it.
there like 2 years after.
Yeah,
the
Wyjite
fucking
was still in
We
inception.
did that in
Yeah.
Ambition too. We also made a new chat, didn't we? At one point,
Um,
after like season.
Oh
2
yeah,
or something.
when I did the initial batch of inactivity removals, because I didn't remove anyone. Like I'm pretty sure I still had people who played like season 4, and it was like season 8, and they hadn't even spoken in the Skype chat in like years. And
made
basically, what
another-
I did is I just made a Google Doc, and I like said, okay, we're removing you. We're creating a new Skype chat, and we're just refreshing it, and we're getting rid of all the old members or keeping all the active members.
That's a good way to clean it up. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do because
Yeah.
if you have people that are inactive, they can kind of drag you around down. If
Yeah.
they're just kind of staying up, not really doing anything, it's like, what do you do
I'm
with them?
probably going to end up personally going to have to do a batch and add some new people, just because of the nature of the record round. Like everyone's so busy that we are starting to need new people to start playing. Because
Yeah.
like for example, like
We had my roommate.
no,
Yeah.
Scott wants me to add his roommate. Like we fucking added Carl last season. Ace
Oh, why
Man
can't we have my
123.
roommate?
Wait, who is that?
That's Griffin's IRL friend that I played Dota with. We're like, hey, you want to play? He's like, sure. he
Why can't we
used to
have
be a
one of my
mod on
roommates? They can play on
OCTC.
my alt. I have an alt. I clean my
No.
pants. It's a good alt.
Like we still have
There's just some
Nate,
newcomer.
like Nate2 Gamer. That's Scrib's IRL friend. But
Oh,
He
yeah.
has a big penis.
But he does. He's just like he's in the TeamSpeak all the time. Like he literally like Scrib and Nate and then their other friend Garrett. That's where they go. They come home from school and they go play like Overwatch and TeamSpeak.
That's
Like
cool.
even though he's not like even though they're not playing Minecraft, they're still we can like go down to a channel and talk to them and say, hey, what's going on? We're gonna go play some Overwatch with you guys. Like sure. And like Nate used to play Minecraft with Scrib. Like they used to play Dungeon Realms. Like if you look at Scrib's old videos from like 4 years ago in like 2012,
Oh,
him
God.
and Nate when they're like in 6th grade playing Dungeon Realms.
And Terraria, Wall of Flesh
Yeah,
Fail.
like yeah. But it's just cool the dynamic of like a lot of these people we've just been friends with for so long. And like even if
Yeah.
they don't want to play Minecraft, they're still around. And if they want to, they can. And if they don't want to, it's
I
fine.
just checked. You might want to remove me from the organizer doc. Considering I don't have
Oh,
it
yeah,
around
I'll do-
anymore and I left the chat.
Oh yeah,
I
that's a
just
good point.
checked
Let
and
me.
I still have access.
I'll do that real quick.
Also,
I'm looking at the.
there's
looking
a
at the
round.
topics
The
thing
last
right
round
now.
that I was in there organizing, you might just want to remove.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
So we were trying to segue into the new topic of Ambition's stance on updating to newer versions.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that was
fuck
what we were
no.
trying to say.
Never. Fuck
Never?
that.
Alright,
Never.
there we go. That's the end of that
Fuck
topic.
that. You understand? No, let's go back. How long have I been playing this fucking game? Long ass time. Long ass time. We were one of the last rounds to update to 1.8. I was insistent on keeping in 1.7 for a long time.
We were the last round update to 1.7 too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I hate updating to new rounds. I hate it. And I think 1.9, I think they straight up broke it. I hate the way that the new combat works.
I think 1.9 is fine, but it's just not suited for UHC.
Yes,
at
I
all.
totally agree. When I played on Rice Bowl for like 6 months, I loved playing in 1.9. It was fun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like,
it's
SMP
just not for
stuff is fine.
UHC. And
Yeah.
like watching Mindcrack try to kill each other, it's just stupid. You get 3 hit by a sword, and it's just like, it's just not fun. It just doesn't look fun.
Like, I've got, here we go, bow battle, here, 2 shots, I've
Yeah.
won.
It just I don't ever see myself doing it unless there's some drastic change made to make it more suited and it becomes the norm. But like, I think 1.8. I remember when 1.7 or when 1.8 was talked about, and they're like, okay, you can see your enchants now, and it's gonna cost 3 levels to get like
Yeah.
a sharp 2.
Everybody
I was
thought
like,
it was
I
broke.
remember all of us were like, what the fuck is that? That is the most broken
And you
thing I've
need
ever
lapis
seen.
for enchanting.
Yeah.
The
And
one thing I have to say about upgrading to newer versions,
it
like,
refreshes the game.
People could say we can use plugins and certain things that other servers have used that keeps the same combat system, but upgrades to the newer versions. So like, I'm pretty sure Badline did that or something like of the same sort where
I
they upgraded
I
to like
hate that
1.10.
though, because
Oh, yeah,
we're,
well, that
we're
was the
we're
one-
kind of
yeah.
doing what we were talking about with Simplistic, which
Yeah.
is sort of like,
Adding new
You're-
features, but
it's
not
like-
adding all the features.
yeah, it's like saying we're doing one thing, but we hate an aspect of it, so we're going to remove the main part of it. It's like
Yeah, it's
when
like, okay,
Badline released their 1.9 PvP, and they were just like
They just took away
and they
everything
were
that
just
made
like,
1.9
yeah,
combat
we're doing
1.9.
1.9 PvP. We're just doing 1.9 like PvP server, but we're removing the new combat system.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, well, what's the
it's-
point?
yeah, it's like- it's
what are
like
you
making-
trying
it's-
to achieve?
It's making
Yeah.
it's making a big deal about it. It's like, oh, we're going to the new update and it has this new combat system, but we've just changed it into the old one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so, like I said, I don't see myself doing it.
Mhm.
And
That's
if
fair
if a
enough.
recorder round wants to be like, okay, we're gonna be a 1.9 plus recorder round now, like, I mean, you do you, like you'll get viewers, but for me, I just don't find it entertaining at all. I don't find it entertaining to watch people like don't be able to do anything.
I just played my. I'm gonna say first because my very first 1.9 game I like died in the first 10 minutes. But my first 1.9 game I played yesterday, where I actually like got to experience the PvP aspect of it. And my opinion is, I actually really enjoyed 1.9 PvE because it actually gave me a challenge.
hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It wasn't impossible, but it was hard, and it gave me a challenge, which I found a lot more entertaining than just kind of zipping through caves
Right.
with like no stuff like that. But I didn't like the PvP as much as I would have thought because when I was in the Dead channel talking to the other spectators, they all pretty much agreed that in 1.9 you can't 2v1 somebody. Like if you have to have an even fight with somebody in terms of men because you can have one person shooting at you and you can shield them, but you can't shield off 2 people shooting at you at once, and you
just
self
get
shoot them
roasted.
too. Yeah, and if you don't shield, the bows do like so much damage.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna die like,
It's
like instantly.
Yeah, I didn't particularly enjoy the PvP in WMC. Like I think WMC is probably the right round to do
Yeah.
the newer
Yeah.
versions,
I
but it
agree.
doesn't mean I particularly enjoyed it, and that wasn't just
Yeah,
because
I didn't
Mischievous
like
was
the
there.
PvP.
WMC is the most Mindcrack-esque recorded rounds.
Yes, but that's just the nature of the players. They're
Yeah,
very,
PvP is
they're very
weird.
commentary orientated people. You know, you've got your occasional freak like Shut Up Brick, but apart from that, it's
Yep.
very commentary.
By
based,
freak, you
like,
mean freak in the sheets.
That's what we meant.
One
That
very
was the correct meaning.
one very old argument I saw for the new combat system was people saying, "Oh, the new combat system means that you don't need the better ping to win." And like I used to agree with that at first, but now that I've played more, it's like no, that's
Dude, I get
absolutely
fucked up
not.
by Australians all the time.
It's like that's absolutely not the case at all because because the shield is the most like significant part of the new PvP system, and if you're lagging, you can't block a
Yeah,
single
but
hit.
as Berg
Yeah.
was telling us 3 weeks ago, you
Yeah.
can't if you don't have a shield. there's nothing you can do.
Apparently, that's a big issue. Like the shields with bad ping, it just doesn't really work. Like people that don't have good ping to the server signals don't just not cater to them.
I played a 1.11 UHD today, and the server was like lagging for the whole thing. And it's like, there's a skeleton. I've held my shield
You're
up for
holding your
1
shield and
second.
you're just dying.
I hold my shield up for 1 second, and the skeleton still shoots through it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Like,
it's the idea, I guess, behind it is that it's different, but I don't know if it's good for UHC.
Yeah. I like it as an update. I think, like, because especially for vanilla Minecraft, you're not going to be experiencing PvP, so it's not really that important. If you're a guy who just does survival stuff, I could see that being very entertaining. I think, as for Minecraft generally, I think it's a step in the right direction, because if they keep the game the exact same thing, they're not really going to, get
They're making it new and
going
making
forward.
it fresh.
Yeah, they're putting a new outlook on it, which I appreciate. But it's
Always so
really
good.
just not.
So little.
It's really just not for
I
UHC,
don't have too
especially
much
this
love
community
for,
of all.
Yeah, I've got to go in the near future, so can we
Yeah.
What do we have left,
We'll move
topic-wise?
We should
So
just talk
Ambition
about how
stands on
Ambition
newer
started.
versions.
Ambition started. Okay,
Like
Origins.
basically origins of Ambition, which is what we do every single.
Oh,
episode.
I would love to explain like the very beginning of how it became a thing because it's one of my favorite things
Sure.
to talk about.
I wasn't. I was not. I was an original member for the season, but I was one of the later ads actually.
I was in the original group. So basically, this is how everything went down. Mindcool was a group back then that everybody wanted to be in. They were the cool kids of the school that, like, they were the popular group with the popular kids. And one day, Pipiter, as a joke, I'm pretty sure, like left the Mindcool group and made a Skype group called Mind Cooler and added a bunch of people like me, Mr. Craft. I remember Jacob Craft was in it.
I was.
Mischievous was in it.
Not me. I was not in it.
Just a bunch of people that were like, honestly, they were nice people. Honestly, just good people in that
Mike
group.
Danoob.
Yeah, Mike Danoob. Like, it wasn't even a bad group of people at all. Like, it was
random as fuck though. Like it
It
was
was-
just a random fucking collection of people.
I'm like positive Pip just went on his like Skype list and just added people randomly. But then somehow it got changed to, since the joke back then was hype, like everybody used to go like hype in chat and stuff like that. We changed the name to Hype Cool, which is actually
You look at the season 1
That's
intro.
what me,
It says
me and
Hype
Max had
Cool
a
Season 1.
conversation about this earlier.
it's
right?
Hype Cool
Yeah.
Presents.
Yeah.
If you look at the original, if you look at the subreddit, it says
Oh
created
yeah,
by
the
Mr.
subreddit
Craft.
is still Hype Cool. It says like the subreddit we use to organize the ambition is r/Hype Cool.
Oh.
That's what it is.
And it's created by Mr. Craft.
Created by
underscore
Mr.
one.
Yep.
So in the Skype group, we were all talking about making a recorded round because R&R had gotten released and it was like full of people from Mindcool.
Because R&R came out in November, and this was getting talked about in like December.
Yeah, and I think a few people were pushing for the idea. Some people didn't care about it. I remember Pip was like going along with it because he thought it was a funny idea, but I don't know if he really cared about it too much.
He was joking the whole time.
Yeah, he was joking the whole time, which is why why we made the group decision to remove him.
Okay,
later.
now
No,
I
he
come
left.
in.
He left.
No, I can tell you why he came in. This is funny. So, I hosted a game on my server. It was me and Soul, and Soul was in the original group of people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I go, all right. Pip was like, okay, we're doing a recorder round. I'm like, oh, can I be in it? And he's like, okay, I'll add you to the group if you opt me on your server. So I /opt Pipiter. He added me to the group, and then I de-opt him. And then he was like, what the fuck is that? And then he like went on. He just flipped out and just left the group.
Oh yeah,
and
he's like,
basically
you
said,
guys,
"This is
none of
not
you
happening."
guys are serious. This is
Yeah, you guys aren't mature, but the group isn't mature. We were a bunch of fucking 15-year-old kids. Like,
Yeah.
of course.
Um,
And so that's when I got added, and people started to leave, and people didn't know what was going on. And then eventually we're like, fuck it, we're just gonna do it.
we pushed forward the idea of having a recorder round like to the point where
Well,
like,
yeah,
we
it's
need a
because
name, and it's like
It was gonna
let's
be
just
on
do
my
something,
server,
Like
so I was like, let's just keep doing it. I can still host it.
I don't
Yeah.
specifically know who suggested the name Ambition.
It was
might have been
Pokey.
Oh yeah, it
The
was
Pokey dude, man.
I have the list right now of the original signups for Ambition Season 1. And
Alright.
like half the people that are on the sign-up list did not actually
No,
play.
didn't even play.
So I just want to like quickly read off like a bunch of names that
Please.
like never made it to the stage. So Insane G Guy. We have Mr. Kadidster. Mike Danube never ended up playing. He joined the server during season 1, but we were like halfway through the game
which
already.
already started. You can't play.
We're like, sorry, man. What else do we have?
Like What It's Brown was there, I think.
What It's Brown was in season 1, or no, he's in season 2 rather.
Blissons, yeah, he was one.
But it's just full of people that like were in the group still and were friends with us, but just like never really wanted to play Ambition.
Yeah, so
too much.
we played season 1 when there was no organizer. Like
Mhm.
we were like, who wants to do the intro? And
We're like,
Sneak,
Sneak.
we were like, Sneak, you do it. You have a lot of YouTube videos. You know what you're doing. So we let Sneak do it. And so like Sneak did it, but really the person who like took charge of it immediately after was Mischievous.
Yeah.
And so like the original quote unquote 3 organizers were Mischievous, Sneak. We're like, I feel weird making Sneak talk and then not
That was
the
the only reason he
organizer.
was credited as an organizer.
Yeah,
And Mr.
so-
Kraft because he added a bunch of random people.
Yeah, Mr. Kraft added people and created the subreddit, so we're like, okay. But in reality, it was just Scott.
Yeah.
And then starting the end of season 2, I started actually doing stuff, and then really it just became me and Scott. And for a while, it was just Scott. Once I went to college, I went to college at the right after season 4. So after that, it was just Scott, and then I took over by myself pretty much from
Pokey
season
Dude
7.
Man was a mod for
I
like
helped
one
a little
season. I was
Yeah.
a mod for like a couple seasons,
Yeah.
I think.
But really, the beginning 7 seasons or 6 seasons were all Scott, and the following season 6 was a mixture of me and then someone else, or just me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the origins. That's the origin story, officially on paper.
There's
Better
a
Yeah.
than
post
X-Men
from-
Origins.
There's a post from Irene on the Reddit that's titled "Issue Between Mindcool and Ambition."
Yeah, I went
We
through
had-
the other day.
We had so much beef between the two groups.
Yeah, we
of
did
us.
a Mindcool versus Ambition UHC.
Oh.
Fun
and
fact.
nobody took it seriously.
No.
Halfway through, everybody just gave up on the idea.
There was like a PvP battle on Citrus's server at one point.
Yeah.
Back when Citrus used to host.
That was fucking
It
funny.
was
Funny.
good shit. Yeah, that's the story of Ambition.
Yeah.
Right, is
That's
that
how we
it
Okay,
then?
well, do you wanna? Yeah, that's about it, I think.
Alright, well, I guess thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for inviting
Lego,
us.
who had to go halfway through. Thank you, Max and Casmic, for joining me as per usual.
Uh-huh.
And I suppose I should probably say now that I'm going to be in Florida for like a little while, in April. So I think it's going to be 2 episodes that I'm going to be missing. So I think Casmic said he'd record it, and he's
Mhm.
going to upload it to
Did
my
I say that?
YouTube channel. Yeah,
Someone
you
will
did
do
say
it.
that. You're going to
Someone's gonna
record
do
it in TeamSpeak.
Someone will do
Well-
it. It'll be fun.
Right, well,
It'd be
you're
Owen's
doing
and
that,
Chad.
so cheers.
You're
Casmic,
doing it,
for
okay.
volunteering.
It's
But
fine.
yeah.
My 2 podcasts will be the best podcasts we've ever made. It's gonna
Yeah.
be the best.
We'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
Lego to
that-
do all the introductions.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Scott.
Oh yeah, Lego's definitely doing the intros, don't worry.
Yeah,
But
don't worry about
God.
it.
Are you sure you want to do that?
So
Yeah,
I'm
don't
gonna be
worry.
missing. I think it's 2 episodes. So
Oh, yeah.
this will be my last one for probably a month or so. So thank you for the continuing support on the series. It's been great.
Ooh.
It's
mind
been
if I
real
give
fun.
a-
Thanks for having us,
Do you
boys.
mind if I give a
Thank
shout
you.
out?
Oh, thank you.
Please go. Give a
Shout
shout
out
out.
to Kaoki for being like the mother of Ambition and like making sure everybody stays together.
Yeah.
Because without him, it really wouldn't do anything. Nobody
Try
else.
my best.
Nobody else cares about the round as much as him and puts in as much effort as he does. So
Feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, yes. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming, guys.
Yeah,
It
it's
means a
been
lot.
a fun time.
And yeah.
thanks for having us.
So thank you,
Yeah.
Kaoki,
Yeah, no problem.
Mischievous, Epic. Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.